All right, guys, how about a couple NBA games on Friday? I know everyone's thinking about the NCAA tournament and the start of the Major League Baseball season, but we do have some NBA that is worth betting here. We'll start with Cavs Pistons, 7:10 Eastern time. Cleveland down to a 5-point favorite from an opener of -7.5. This is the second night of a back-to-back for the East's number one seed. Of course, that is Cleveland. Also a matchup against their former coach, JB Bickerstaff, who the Cavs fired after a second-round playoff exit last year. Cavs certainly haven't missed Bickerstaff, as Kenny Atkinson has led them to the best record in the Eastern Conference, 59-14 straight up. Of course, they've been a pretty good team to bet on as well. 44-28-1 against the spread. That's the second best behind Oklahoma City, who is also the only team with a better straight-up record than the Cavs. Cavs are also the top over team in the league this season, 47-26. Now, while the Cavs may not miss Bickerstaff, the Pistons certainly glad to have him because for the first time in many years, 2019 to be exact, this team's going to the playoffs. In fact, Detroit is trending nicely towards a top 6 finish, so they'll avoid the play-in tournament. As for tonight, the Pistons are looking to clinch their first winning season since 2015-2016. Nearly 10 years since they finished with a winning record, that would be. They also look to snap a 12-game losing streak to the Cavaliers, which includes an 0-3 record this season. Last time these teams played, game was decided at the buzzer. Darius Garland made a long three to give the Cavs a 118-115 victory. No Cade Cunningham tonight for the Pistons, however. They have won the last 2 games without their all-star, but this is obviously a much taller order than New Orleans or San Antonio, who were the previous 2 opponents. The Cavs being on the second night of a back-to-back, you think might help the Pistons. It was the Cavs' turn to beat San Antonio last night, 124-116, although they did not cover as big 14-point favorites. Did get 29-15 from Jared Allen, 25-14-8 from Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley rested last night. He'll be back tonight. However, you do worry about the potential for Cleveland resting other key players on the second night of a back-to-back, said Atkinson. Quote, I think it's part of my job to help guys stay healthy, end quote. Certainly, the playoffs are the number one priority for this Cavs team right now. So what do we do here? Let's look at the player prop market. I couldn't, in good conscience, make a play on the side or the total here. With Cunningham still out, someone needs to pick up the scoring slack for the Pistons. Over the last 2 games, that man has been Marcus Sasser, who has scored 47 points, including a career-high 27 his last time out. Tonight, though, interesting enough, you won't even find Sasser at either DraftKings or FanDuel to bet his point total. So what I'm going to do is look at Tobias Harris over 15.5 points for my official lean. Now, Harris has not gone over this number in 5 straight games. I get that. Plus, he's been pretty bad against Cleveland this year, but I feel we're buying low at this number of 15.5 points. He's scored 14 and 15 his last 2 games, so he's been right there. I think Harris is a guy who could potentially take advantage of some of the likely absences for the Cavs tonight. Let's now go to our next game, which is Knicks-Bucks. This is a pick'em, 8:10 Eastern tip-off. A lot of key absences to talk about for this one. No Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. He remains out with an ankle injury. Miles McBride, Cameron Payne, both missing tonight's game as well. For Milwaukee, no Dame Lillard. Giannis is considered day-to-day. He missed the last game. No Jericho Sims. No Bobby Portis. So what in the world do we do here? Well, the Bucks were game against Denver much of the way, despite running a skeleton crew out there. Things got away from them late, and it ended up being a 10-point loss. Brook Lopez went for 26. That was his 3rd straight game with 21 or more points. The concern with backing Lopez in the player prop department, again, is if Giannis does return, it would cut into Lopez's production. Nevertheless, Lopez's point total is currently set at just 15.5. That's a number he's surpassed 6 of his last 9 games. I would go over again. Even if Giannis does play, I think Brook Lopez goes over 15.5. So that's 2 player props for Friday's card. Tobias Harris over 15.5 points. Brook Lopez over 15.5 points. Smash that like button if you agree. Comment down below with any bets on these games that you would like to share. Then head on over right there to that page that you see on your screen, wt.buzz/pp. That is where you will find all of my top selections for Friday and the weekend. Been a tough last 2 weeks, not going to sugarcoat it, but still up nearly 40 units going back to February 19th. We were on a great run, second half of February, first half of March. Been treading water lately. I think we turn it around. Strong finish to the NCAA tournament. Then it's all about MLB and the NBA playoffs. Don't forget about soccer as well. I am number 1 on the pitch at WagerTalk over the last 11 months. That is going to do it for me today, guys. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.